You're tuned in to Kiddy Pink Radio, where black media matters. Keep it locked.
Sweat you, cause I had no time for a man. I had a plan, refused to let someone distract or hold me back. But you so persistent, felt like you had to get me, now I'm yours. You mistreating the privilege like I'm supposed to be here. Boy, baby, please don't get it twisted. I'm only being optimistic. I'm a priority, not an option. I told you that from the start. Now you're picking my love. Will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. I'm all cried out, done screamed and shouted. Ain't no work in this house. That's what you say, and I can take it or leave it. You think I'm tripping, I just want your attention. Maybe some hugs and kisses, and I smidge I wish you love. Will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like Lucy and Ricky, Master and Jeannie, the wine and Whitley, Bill and Claire from the Cosby's, Papa and Granny, Mama and Daddy, music and me. I wish you like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. You say that you do, but you don't. You say that you will, but you won't. Make promise after promise, but I don't see a change at all. You say that you do, but you don't. You say that you will, but you won't. Make promise after promise, but I don't see a change at all. Will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever. Like will love stay like pop? Love could out of a rock. Michelle Obama tryna be us forever.
I give it to the niggas, but I'm gonna give it to y'all ladies too. Y'all big girls, stop paying for these niggas to fuck on you, cause y'all make it to where they think it's a thing with all of us. When they get to a big bitch like me, they be thinking that I'm finna buy they snacks and I got my hand held out cause I want some snacks.
And men should stop doing it too.
Doing what? Doing what?
Tricking.
What's up? How is everybody
doing? It's Wednesday and it is noon o'clock, and you are joining your very favorite conversationalist, Foe.5, and yours truly, Miss Kiddy. What's going on, Foe.5?
You know what it is. Same old shit, different toilet.
You so stupid. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to all our people who are in the war room. If you haven't already, make sure that you join the War of the Roses group so that you can catch every show. Also, make sure that you go over to Kiddy Pink Radio on YouTube so you can subscribe, so you can get the notifications. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You can get the notifications when we are going live, as we are
Time out.
right now. Time out.
Time out.
Okay.
I like that shit. The war room. Yeah,
I
come and
think
meet us in there.
I think I'm gonna change the name of it to the War Room.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
like
think that's
that.
what I'm gonna do. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I
But
like that.
if you are on the feed right now, once again, like I said, shout out to those of you on Twitch. Shout out to those of you on YouTube, the War Room. Also those of you tuning in on Facebook, wherever you're viewing or listening from, we appreciate y'all. But I got one favor
For
to
sure.
ask before we get off into this shit. Share my shit.
My friends be like, how come you not famous yet? I be like, you didn't share my shit. How come you ain't shared it yet? That's what I don't understand. That's why I'm not famous.
So
Because you ain't shared my shit.
we definitely got a hot topic for today. There have been some trending things going on in the media. Of course, they involve our community.
Mhm.
And on last week we were speaking on some things that are quite similar to what we're about to talk about today, but on a whole nother dimension. And I just want to say before we get started, whenever I say anything about Black single mothers, y'all got to understand I'm a Black single mother, and a lot of the things that I come to y'all with, that I say, is things that I'm experiencing and learning how to undo my damn self. I'm not attacking single Black mothers. Never that. That would be so hypocritical for me to be talking about single Black mothers in a very, very negative manner. All I was doing was calling out and acknowledging some of the shit that we as Black single mothers do that can lead up to some of the results that we're seeing right now. And that's all. That's it. Y'all can stop attacking me. Period.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here on any type of attack. I don't look at it as attacks or whatnot. I mean, I get it. I get that sometimes emotions can take the best of all of us, right? But one of the main things that we aspire to on this show is criticism in all forms,
Right.
constructive or otherwise, right?
Right.
And so when we are speaking on things in light, when we know, all of us know, the things that we have talked about on this show affects our community,
Exactly.
right? When we know that it's an effect on our community, whether it's a good effect or a bad effect, right? We speak on these things so we as a people can know how to mesh together and build this strong bond that we once had that ain't as strong as it used to be.
Right. Most
You
definitely.
know,
Most definitely.
and it on the topic, if anybody who is paying attention on the topic of single parenthood, we speak on both sides of the fence.
Right.
We are never coming at this from pointing fingers, your fault, your fault, your fault. No, it's our fault. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out why we keep going into these directions that we're going in.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not productive to us, we need to figure out how to do what? Stop the ignorance, right? And
Right.
so in putting that out there, you know, there are subjects that we are going to discuss that may hit home directly. And you may have some things that you want to say on it, but all I'm asking is that your mind is open to the other side of the argument as
Right.
well. because
Right.
we're never going to get anywhere until we come to a point where we can actually mesh these ideas and say, okay, this may not work for us if we keep going all the way to the left, but
Right.
this may not all work for us if we keep going all the way to the right,
That part.
you know. And we just got to come to an agreement on certain things. There's rules and bylaws and regulations to every tribe out there, and we the only tribe who ain't got not a fucking rule to follow. And we
Right.
look just like we look with no rules to follow. You look what? Lost.
Right. And then even in the presence of pointing fingers, y'all, sometimes it's okay to take those fingers. You know what I'm saying? And accept
Right.
accountability. That's the biggest issue we
There
have
you
in our
go.
community is accepting accountability. I don't we ain't professionals. We ain't went to school for this shit. A majority of the topics that we choose over here are life experiences or something that we've seen that we can relate to.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? It's not an
Mm-hmm.
argument. Hence the title War of the Roses is not an argument. It's a war because we can't come to a compromise. That's why it's a war.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
we trying to
Right.
find roses in this big ass shit patch. But anyway,
Right.
we gonna jump into some things. You brought it to my attention about this young man, Darius Miles. Yeah, Darius Miles.
Yes.
And I
Not real quick. Not the Darius Miles that that some of us know from the NBA.
mhm,
Okay, this is a new Darius Miles. Everybody, if you know anything about this situation or this story, this is the basketball player from the University of Alabama.
mhm,
Okay, not to be mistaken with the NBA player who had already made his career. He's already retired out, peace on that brother. But this brother that we are speaking of, he just so happens to carry the same name. He's not in any relation, from what I know, to
right,
the Darius Miles that some of us grew up watching in
right.
the NBA.
Shout out
Okay,
to West
so
Coast Radio. What's up, Rip? But yeah, I'm gonna get into some of the clips that I picked up because I'm still researching this particular situation. But here we go.
Alabama basketball player is in jail, charged with capital murder. Tuscaloosa police arrested Darius Miles and another man after a shooting near the campus, a shooting which left a 23-year-old woman dead. Miles has been kicked off the team. CNN's Martin Savage joining us now with more. So, Martin, what led to the shooting in the first place? Do we know?
Well, that's still being determined exactly, but it appears to be one of those instances where you've had a split second of bad decision making that's going to lead now to a lifetime of heartbreak and tragedy for a number of families. Darius Miles was a third-year forward on the University of Alabama men's basketball team, but as you say, not anymore. He's been kicked off the team. That's because he has been charged with murder along with another man, Michael Lim Davis, 20 years of age. The two men were arrested after an incident that authorities in Tuscaloosa say they were called to around 1:45 a.m. Sunday morning in an area about a half-mile off campus in Entertainment District. When police arrived on the scene, they said they found a female dead inside of a vehicle, 23 years of age. She died of a gunshot wound. The driver of that vehicle said that the two suspects opened fire on them. The driver says he returned fire, believe he wounded one of them, and it was after talking to witnesses, looking at surveillance video, that authorities were able to make the arrest. And yes, one of the men was wounded. We don't know which one. The question here is why? And authorities will only say that there was apparently some minor altercation that led up to this, and then came the gunfire, and now comes the heartbreak. Capital murder, which both of these men have been charged with, is the most serious crime in the state of Alabama. Erica.
University of Alabama is shaken. This is a very,
Senseless.
very sad story. And a trigger warning, just in case you guys don't want to hear it. Darius Miles, who is a Washington, D.C. student of the University of Alabama, played for the University of Alabama basketball team, committed a murder and killed a 23-year-old lady named Jamia Jonah Harris. Let's talk about it. So on January 15th in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the kids were on the Strip. Now the Strip is probably like the Strip in Vegas or Strip in any city. It's the place where everybody goes, walk around, where all the bars and the shops are. So Darius Miles and Michael Lynn Davis. Michael Lynn Davis of Maryland and Darius Miles of DC. They were on the Strip. An altercation, well, more of a argument occurred with the young lady, the victim, and these two men. Now, I don't know if someone else was in it, but probably, but that's who the argument was with. So they got in the car and left. The shooting occurred around 1:45 a.m. So this was the middle of the night. Whoever the victim, Jamia, was in the car with ended up shooting back. So their car was shot in while they were driving, and then they shot back, okay, in retaliation. Now, the driver, who has not been identified, actually ended up hitting one of the suspects. Somebody did get shot in retaliation. They didn't necessarily say who. It didn't look like it was Darius, so it probably was Michael Lynn. I don't know for sure, but somebody got shot, but they had non-life-threatening injuries, so they did not die. So that picture I just showed you before was the surveillance video, is the ring light camera that actually caught them up. So a ring light camera showed the gunfire shooting, and they were able to identify the two suspects. Now, when the shooting happened, the driver that shot back ended up driving Jamia to the campus police, and they got her to safety, but she ended up passing away. So let me tell y'all, I first saw this story on my friend Arize's page a couple days ago. He spoke about knowing him since he was 9 years old. He tried to save a lot of kids from the streets with basketball. Like, I know some of the people he's associated with. So this kid definitely had opportunities to turn his life around. But they are not specifically saying that he was the one that did it. It seems like he's keeping his innocence, but he's being charged with capital murder. So they must have found out something. The story has also come out today from the victim's mother, from Jamia's mother, saying that this young man, Darius, killed Jamia because he allegedly would not talk to her. And that opens up a lot of points.
That's the part that I really wanted to get to, because that's what we're going to be talking about. It seems that rejection has a lot to do with some of the stories. For those of you, the other story with Tyree Nichols, rejection seems to be a big part of these situations. And to not to anybody's avail or surprise, these are young black men. If y'all tuned in yesterday on Locked and Loaded, I kind of scaved over it a little bit, how us mothers with young black men, we have to teach them how to accept rejection. And that goes hand in hand with not, because I think a lot of times when you're raising a child, whether it's boy or girl, and you're raising them by yourselves, you kind of let that baby get away with a little too much, and that baby is spoiled because you feel like you're trying to make up for the absence in their life somewhat. And that's why that's pretty much was my point. We got to learn how to tell our kids no, and no means no. They get that from home before they go out here into the world.
That's facts. That's facts. But let's look at it from the adult standpoint, because these are adults we're speaking of. We're not speaking about children, right?
Right.
At some point in a young boy's life, when he's growing into being a man, he understands rejection, or he should, because you're not being told yes at every angle. Now, the situations are different from Tyree to this young brother Darius, right? Because we know Darius is an athlete, so they get to eat off of a different plate than most people, right? But at the end of it, we're talking about two situations dealing with the exact same thing with the exact same outcome. One was a gentleman. He's involved with a woman who had an ex, obviously, right? This is where it's kind of leading to. It's an ex, or maybe she was still involved with the gentleman. Who knows? But
they stated baby mama.
Oh.
I'm a baby's mother. So
Mm-hmm.
like that kind of means, like, you know what I'm saying, we ain't together. That ain't my
Mm-hmm.
man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the backstory on that. We don't know what type of situation was going on. Were they going back and forth at each other, anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
But when they say his baby mama, and then the baby mama and Tyree were working at FedEx together. I'm guessing
Oh
this is where
shit.
right. I'm guessing this is where the romance started.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? He come in
Workplace romance. Yeah.
right. He come in on some jealous ish because they said after they got through beating that boy, she said he sent her a picture of the boy beat up.
To
The police officer sent a picture of the boy beaten up. This is how we ended up with knowing this piece of news evidence. He sent her a picture of the boy beaten up. That's how we even got that information. So these are
I would dive into that part of it, but
these are
yeah,
two
these two
different
totally different
situations,
situations.
but rejection has a lot to do with both of them.
Has a
And
lot
it
to do with
ended
it,
up
right?
with a young black man as well as a young black lady both losing their lives because the motherfucker don't understand how to accept no. It's over.
Right. It's over. That's what it is. You know, one of them, they didn't even. Well, we get it. It's two totally different situations because the other one, that girl, if she knew them or if she knew the basketball players because he played basketball, if she knew him, right? But we don't even know what that whole situation where y'all met her or something at a gas station. She ends up getting shot at a gas station,
She
or
she was
the
walking to the store or something and he tried to holler at her. Her nigga is sitting in the car.
right. But this last lady we just had a clip on because see, the only thing that I cannot stand about this story is is that like we're getting bits and pieces at a time. Whereas the one with Tyree, it was just you got pretty much the gist of everything, you know.
Right.
The one, but this lady just said that they had, I guess they had some type of, not necessarily altercation, but it was some type of
Back and forth.
banter going on
He probably
before,
called her
and then
the normal with men, because this happens to not a lot of women. You stuck up B, you know what I'm saying? Fuck you, bitch. You ain't cute
mhm,
no way.
mhm.
And she you know
Yeah, but
women.
here,
We gonna come back with some type of
yeah,
rhetoric.
especially today, right? And which is fine. That part is fine. But the new stuff that came that I'm listening to here is they split up and then somehow they end up back around each other again.
I was talking about
Am I?
Tyree. I was talking about Tyree. You getting the
Oh,
stories mixed up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was talking
Okay.
about Tyree.
Yeah. 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 Okay. 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 All right. So because I'm leaning towards the Alabama dude, but okay. All right. So the Tyree thing, that whole thing. Yeah, I know that story. That's just that's jealousy.
Most
The end
definitely.
of it is jealousy, and and us as men, I can't. I'm not speaking because all men are not like that. There's, you know, if you're anything like me, you care less. Okay, well, you think he's better, move on. You
Right.
know, but a lot of men don't operate that way. A lot of men, unfortunately, they feel like that's, you know, once they in it, that's my territory. You
But why
know,
though?
and
If we're broken up, like why would you still think that? If we're not together.
because I on that, Kitty, I agree with you. I can only say from my experience, just me personally, all right, you don't want to fuck with me no more. You know what I'm saying? Just move on. That's me, right? There's men out there who it don't matter. It's almost like, you know, I hate to do this, but it's almost like being like dogs. You know how dogs go piss? they piss to mark their territory, right? Sometimes men, when they think they've gotten that love tunnel, as far as they're concerned, it's theirs. It's always theirs. They can always get it when they want it, do whatever they want to with it, and anybody else that come close to it, I'm gonna try to bite your head off, even if she just baby mama. As far as he's concerned, well, if she didn't have my baby, that's mine. Is that a right? Is that there's something wrong with that mindset?
That's mentally
There's
ill.
something wrong with the mindset. Right. There's something wrong with that mindset completely because I say this all the time, even to men that are married. It's never yours. It's a compromise to get it.
You're leasing.
Right. You're leasing. Why would we say this? Because this is called life. Because tomorrow you could be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And what you want her to do? Keep hollering, oh no, I'm still with him. She ain't gonna keep doing that. She gotta take care of her life. Just like you would, sir. Because she's a baby mama for a reason.
Right.
Right? Am I wrong in saying that? She's a baby mama because what Beyonce say? You ain't put a ring on it.
That part.
Right? Am I crazy here?
Even if you put a ring on it, though, I mean, I know what
It's
a Bible
not
teacher. No, like, Rip said on the flip
right.
side,
Like
he had some down ass bros though. That's how we roll with the homies. That's how I envision
uh-uh.
us
Mm-mm.
tri-coastal.
Mm-mm. 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 Hey,
You
I'm
want
gonna
us
agree
in
with
there
this to an
stomping niggas
extent.
out?
See? I mean, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with that to a certain extent when it comes to us as a people. If we feel like we clicked up with somebody or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna ride. We're
Right.
gonna ride. And everybody and their mama know the police, all this gang prevention that they do. All the gangs out here learn from the police how to be the gangs that they are. Let's get this
Period.
shit straight.
Yeah,
Let's
that one
get this
right
shit
there.
straight.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so don't get me wrong. I'm not, I believe me, I am big on camaraderie amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on that. But I don't want to be clicked up with a bunch of brothers because too, all of us know this. Anytime it's a bunch of brothers together, if one goes off half cocked, the rest of them go
The
off
rest
half
of
cocked.
them are, yeah. And I mean, if in any event, if Tri-Coastal Radio was somewhere together and some shit popped off, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would play my position. I would most definitely play my position. But in back to this situation, that
Mm-hmm.
nigga had no right to do that. None
No,
whatsoever.
all
That was out of line as
you
fuck.
done called up.
Why wouldn't you do that in your civilian clothes on your civilian time, my nigga?
Yeah,
Handle that
don't call.
then.
Don't call your gang members up who's all in uniform. Don't call them up. And on top of that, let's do this right here. Let's say Tyree was really that nigga,
Right.
right? And he went in and he put in work on them boys. You know the outcome of that.
Right.
Afterwards, he'd still be dead.
Yeah.
And then they would be saying it was justified because he attacked them. Because we all know, I got a cousin right now who served time in jail for breaking a cop's leg. And you know how the cop's leg got broke? Because the cop was strong arming him and he fell off balance.
Right. Right.
And my cousin, whole body weight landed on his leg. Well, you was beating on him. You was acting a fool, but now that was assault on the officer. In the body cam, the officer is manhandling my cousin to where he loses balance. Like, but it ends up being my cousin's fault.
Shit.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying about Tyree. If Tyree had been that dude and really started putting in work on them boys, which you already know, you're not gonna put in work on the cops.
No, they got weapons.
They're
They
going
got
even if
weapons.
even if you put in work on them, they'll call more. You think I'm bullshitting? Look up Christopher
Right.
Dorner. They took 10,000 cops out there to go get that one brother because he started telling the truth on the LAPD. That's why he lost his job. We could go into it deep, but I'm not going into
Yeah,
that.
let's
All I'm
reel it
saying,
back in.
yeah, all I'm saying is this. When it comes to that situation right there, all of those brothers that got involved with this shit and who had that uniform on, what you get is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this shit since Botham John and since before that. When the police, they take an oath, ladies and gentlemen, don't you ever forget this in your life. When they take an oath to be a police officer, to serve you, to protect and serve you, if they disturb the peace, that is punishable by no less than 50 years in prison. This is per the oath that they take. That in itself says that all five of those brothers, mind you, who are cops, they knew what they was doing and they didn't have no business doing it.
Right.
And then we go into it further. They'll start saying, "Oh, well, I had one clip where I think you got it somewhere where the brother was saying this whole city is pretty much ran by single mothers and all that." I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into that as well. Sierra had a couple of words with this gentleman. I'm not familiar with him, but Jason Whitlock.
Jason Whitlock.
Yeah,
Whitlock. Yeah.
we gonna play that video.
Street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected some or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist
Can
authority
you
at all
stop it?
times because there was
Yeah,
no male authority in your
yeah.
home.
Let's stop that right there. Let's get this shit straight, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your head on while you're watching this clip. Okay, because he starts off now. Understand who he is speaking about. He's talking about the police. Okay, he's talking about the police, but he conveniently segues into this is what happens in these cities where black women or women are these kids are coming from single parent homes. And this is, notice what he says. He says these are cops and it looks like gang activity from people who are raised this way, right? But we're talking about the
The
police.
police blame the
We're
black
not
woman.
we're not talking about we're not talking about a gang. And let's go deeper into what another thing that he said. 90% of the time, well, I can't say 90%. I won't give any percentages, but I know there's a lot of brothers out there that been raised by their mamas and shit, and they took a lot of flack for it out on the streets. That didn't turn them into gang members. That didn't turn. As a matter of fact, I know of, and we even got examples of people out there like Kanye's one of them. He tell you he was raised by his mama, and when he went to school, if he had any of the mannerisms of his mama, what did the people call him? They would say he was gay or he did this, he did that. Well, yeah, that starts to affect with the psyche of a person, especially a young boy growing into being a man, right? But
Right.
when we're looking at this situation that he's talking about to relate the two, relate gang members and why they gang members and all this other shit to the police that you know is an organized gang
And
who
that
has the
kind of,
laws. The laws
right.
are set up for them to fucking win because they administer the law out on the streets, which they not should not be administering anything. They should be protecting the people. They
That's
should
a
be
question.
protecting the people.
That was a
Hmm.
question I asked as well. Rip said the MPD chief is a single black female. That was my question too. How the fuck you know this woman raising a baby by herself? Like, and then not just that.
Okay.
Where is he coming up with this idea that the city is ran by single black females? Like, where? How?
Now, see, here's the
Is he
thing
talking
on
about
that.
that one, that particular the police chief's authority? Like, I'm trying to figure out what angle he coming from, because these are not all facts that he's in. This is something that I
Right.
feel like is his theory and his opinion, and he's allowed that. But at the end of the day,
There you
like,
go.
we not finna put all the blame on the fact that, you know. Now I will
Mm-mm.
say the chief did some of the shit she handled. Like, how in the fuck you not know that people you're hiring have a criminal background? They say one of the
Now,
boys was
that's
a
what we
state.
need to focus on.
Yeah, they're stating
That's
that
what we need to focus on.
they're saying that one of the police officers was a Sigma president or something like that, and he got in trouble in college for brutal hazing.
Oh, I'm
So,
sorry. Another gang? Are we talking about other gang activity?
well, here we
I'll
go.
because if I'm not mistaken, have I not pointed this shit out before on many a tri-coastal radio things? Look, I know a gang when I see it. I know a gang when I see it. Don't tell me that these Greek fraternities and sororities ain't gangs. Don't they twist they fingers? Have you ever been to a motherfucking a fraternity party and watched the Omegas fight with the Kappas?
There you have
Y'all
it.
ain't never been to that? I know I have.
Or if y'all seen it in Stomp the Yard, if you split up there, they at a party and they doing that, and they doing all that shit, and you accidentally get in the middle of their line, they will jump you.
They will beat you up.
They will beat your ass. But let's go on and get through this video so we can because we
Yeah.
down there 40
Yeah.
minutes in.
Resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all time, because there was no male authority in your home. Let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us. They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what, this is Tucker Carlson's fault. This is some random this is Donald Trump's fault.
Oh, he's
It's not.
pandering
This
to
is
the
the
white one.
breakdown of family and the buying in to all these left-wing things that have nothing to do with promoting family.
While I
That
agree with some of what he said, I disagree with the majority of it, my nigga. Women aren't crawling. Like, I have a problem with blaming everything on single mothers. Women don't crawl on top of themselves and get themselves pregnant. Women don't go in 9 months knowing that later on they're going to be single mothers. At least
let
not
me
all
ask you
of
this.
us. At least not all of us.
Let me ask you this. If Memphis is a city of single mothers, where they get all these babies from? Where the dudes at? It must be a little city outside of, a little town outside of Memphis that must be full of dudes with hard dicks.
We drive over there and get fucked and pregnant and then come back to the inner city, basically.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm saying all that to say, like, we gotta at one point. Now, I get it. Let's hold women accountable. But at some point, we gotta hold men accountable too.
Right. Because here,
I want to share this
okay.
clip. I want to share this clip because this is exactly what we need to be doing right here.
Okay.
Ask you this question, Jay. 34 children. At any point, did
what
it
the
dawn
fuck?
on you, this is too much?
No.
34.
So at child 15, you never said, let me use a condom?
I did use condoms.
How many?
I probably would have 200 kids if I didn't use condoms.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did it ever dawn on you, let me get a vasectomy?
No,
Why not?
I don't want one.
That's my issue. That's my issue. If you don't want no more motherfucking kids, if you don't plan on marrying none of these women that you're giving all these kids to, why not be a responsible individual? Instead of expecting a woman to get on birth control, get her tubes tied, why not be a responsible individual and cut off your supply, my nigga? Continue.
Created.
Hey,
I don't have a problem
hey,
with what I created.
Okay, so this one, your hand is in her eye. This one over here, the face is buried. And what can you do right now? Holding these 14 babies with all of them behind you that you don't even have your hand on. What can you, one man, do right now?
Nick Cannon.
Tell me, for these children, what can you do?
Nick Cannon can.
Excuse me.
Don't
Are
you
you
get on my
aware that
boy.
you just thunked that baby's head on the chair? And that one down there is hurt. Can I ask you why you put your children down?
I'm tired of holding the dolls.
Listen.
Okay, wait a
Pay
minute.
attention to this part.
I'm sorry. As a mom, I don't get not to take care of my children, no matter what I'm thinking or feeling or going on. I had to figure out and find the time and the way to get myself handled, but they were first. And I didn't get to just put them down because it was inconvenient.
That way. That way. I'm going to get out into some of these comments. I seen a comment that I want to address.
Okay.
Whoever Facebook user is, thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know who you are. Y'all, when sometimes you have to go in on StreamYard and make sure that you're coming through on StreamYard so it'll show your name when it shows the comments. But they said it's something deeper to why he has 35 children. Let me finish. An excuse for a man. Now, if that's a woman, we don't get no excuses. Then he says, Nick can't afford it. Baby, it takes more than money to raise these motherfucking kids. Now, money is a majority, but it takes more than money to raise these kids. You can't be there for them. You can be there for them financially, but you fuck off their mental, their spirit, all that shit. And then we have what's the nigga name? Jason? Joe, what is the name? The dude that just got through talking all that shit about the single in Memphis. Then we have niggas like him blaming it all on women.
Yeah.
You see this man in this doll situation that she made for him, so motherfucking elaborate. And you see, he wanted to put all them down. I don't get to do that as a single mama. I don't get to do that. Tired, no money. I can't. Bro, I could go in. I could go in. Go in. I'm gonna stop it right there though, because I'm getting in my feelings. Let me get out my feelings. Let me bring it back.
You're not getting in your feelings. You're putting out the truth about certain things because it's real. Once the baby is here, now we can talk about all the prevention methods and all that other shit. As everybody and their mama know, in case you don't know, I am team cut balls. I wish you had a hashtag up there. But anyway, that said,
y'all put the hashtag. What you say? I need somebody to throw that in the comments.
It's team cut balls.
Okay, that's Rolo. What's up, Rolo?
So what I need y'all to do, because whenever y'all decide, because I know it's gonna be some shirts out there. Go on and send Foe.5 one of them. Know that I am the president and CEO of Team Cut Balls. That said, I will say this.
Out here going balls deep. Anyway, wait a minute.
See,
Hold it. I need one for that.
So now there's two things to unbox there. I think we're going to end up really need to go in, Kiddy, and get us a show on vasectomy. When it comes to men, I'm a strong believer in vasectomies because it can be reversed, gentlemen, and they do. It's on your insurance if you have it. They'll even do it for you. They'll even do it for you if you're on Medicaid. So. Yeah, we probably, when it comes to men, look here, what man Not talking about no possible man. Because I've already said this too. If you ain't stayed around that woman for that whole 9 months that she had that your baby, you are possible. You're in the possible. You know how we play spades? I probably got 9 in the possible, but really I know all I got is 6. You know what I'm
There
talking
you
about.
go. Team cut balls. Shut
You know who I'm talking
up.
about out there. There it is. Thank you. Because I'm definitely gonna be. Everybody here, please know at 12:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. On what date is this, Kitty? What day is this? This
Hey, this
February.
the first. Hey.
Okay, February the 1st at 12:44 p.m. Central Standard Time. Foe.5 has coined it for all of the vasectomy men.
Team cut
Team
balls.
cut balls.
I'm with the team cut balls.
Now we're gonna get into team cut balls later on in the future, but right here, right now, talking about that and that gentleman, 30, I don't know what I got. Listen, I got 4 kids. One biologically is not mine. I love them all.
Mm-hmm.
They, one or two of them might not be able to stand me, but I love them all nonetheless. But God damn, if I had another 4, I know somebody I'm not paying attention to, or somebody I probably don't like something. I don't know, but if that's your cup of tea, fine. But if you out there and you got your ass 34 motherfucking kids, eh, I commend you if you know all of their names,
Birthdays.
birthdays.
I want to go back to this. Johnny Judah said that shit a two-way street. Nigga got 35 kids. Who the fucking this nigga raw after kid number 3? I most definitely agree with you. But a
Hold
majority of
on,
the time.
time out. Let's get real about men.
Let me finish what I was about to
Okay,
say though.
all right, my bad.
Majority of the time, us women do fuck with niggas. Like even in a date, and that's a cutoff thing. That's often if you got more than 3 or 4, I'm not fucking with you. I'm not fucking with you. I'm probably not gonna. I'm not. Depending on how active you are in those children's life, I may consider. But if I see you got 3 or 4, all different. Well, more than 3 or 4, because I'll excuse that. But all the mamas are different mamas. That right there is a red flag.
Look here, I'm gonna tell you like this, and I agree with my brother to an extent. He knows that shit. We talk about this shit all the time. But I'm gonna tell you something. God damn
I'm
it.
showing out today.
I'm gonna tell you something. God damn it. If this motherfucking man, if you know, because we know, come on, let's get real. Men. I'm talking to men in the war room right now. Let's get real. Y'all know good and damn well a man with 34 kids. If by kid 5, he ain't.
I'm surprised he ain't
What's
got AIDS.
hold on? Let me ask this: what is the likelihood of chick number 5 actually knowing how many kids he has? What about chick 10? You think that's not. Look here, I'm proud to say I got 4 kids, all by the same woman. Let's get real, men. A lot of men ain't proud of the fact that they got 4 and 5 kids by 4 and 5 women. Because it says something. See, we always ask this question. See, this is where I fucking start. I love the duality of shit, right? Because we ask a woman, right? Like Johnny said, right? Which one of you motherfuckers didn't know he had 34 fucking kids? Now let's sit all these women in the goddamn room and ask that question. I guarantee you, it's a nice handful of them that's gonna do this right here. I didn't know nothing. Right? So let's talk about
Also,
that too.
like Johnny is saying, team responsible. That also goes back to confirm a lot of times we do not be getting to know these people we hop in the fucking bed with.
That's true. That is true. Well, team responsible comes with asking a simple question, ladies. Are you team cut balls? Now, see,
cut
you can be.
balls for me.
Let's give. Hey, hold on now, because you can be team cut balls and ain't had a vasectomy yet. You just agree with the with the premonition of being able to have a vasectomy. You agree with it. You just ain't gone on and done it. But if you know, I feel like if we're gonna say team responsible, well then, men, let's take the step to be the more responsible in the situation, because that's our role as men. We are not just protectors and providers. In order to be a protector and a provider, you must be responsible first. You want to be a leader of your household, you must be responsible first. Let's get this shit straight. Now, if you don't want to look here, as much as y'all have heard me, Kiddy, attest to this, how many times have you heard me say, be responsible for your pussy?
Most
How
definitely.
many times
I've
you
heard
heard
you
me?
say that plenty of times. Yeah.
But I'm also saying this, God damn it, be responsible for your dick.
You did. Real talk, because there are men, like you just heard him tell her, I
I
want
don't
a
want to hold these babies.
I don't want to. No, he told her he didn't want a vasectomy.
Oh
Like,
yeah, he well no. That's right on along with I don't want to hold these babies. You
and
don't want to hold these.
responsibility is not pulling out. Responsibility is putting a condom on your finger leg or going to get a vasectomy, like we saying real. You
Yeah,
lead people down the wrong path.
being responsible is knowing somewhere along the way at kid 10, hey, I probably don't want no more of
Right,
these.
I need to chill out. I need to chill out. And I commend men that make that decision. I feel like that's responsible as fuck. Me personally. And I
I,
didn't even know that you could get a reverse. Now that you done said reverse, I'm
yes,
really on y'all niggas' necks. Hey, go
yes.
get your clips.
Now you can get them. You can get them reversed. Man. Please know this too. You can, with a vasectomy, depending on how potent you are, you could possibly still end up with one. The,
What the
team
fuck?
cut team cut balls does not mean you get to willy dick the way you want to. You have to be responsible at all times. Now,
So
you talking
somebody could still get pregnant?
yes, with vasectomies are good. They do prevent pregnancies, but depending on the potency of that gentleman, there's a possibility you could still get pregnant. On top of that, let me add this as well. On top of that, if you are not getting yourself checked after the vasectomy, please know. Foe.5 knows. But if you ain't getting yourself checked after the vasectomy, there's a lot of times that the I forget the real name, but let's just say the tube that connects from the testicle to the gun, that tube can repair itself. Okay, it can. So if you believe that you've had a vasectomy and a chick says, I'm pregnant. Now, the first thing that comes to your mind, you put a big ass smile on your face like I do. Oh, you's pregnant? I bet. I bet you are. But the next thing that you need to do is you need to go check to see your sperm count. Is your sperm count super low because you had this vasectomy, or did it jump up? Because it can. It can. Especially you have to get yourself checked, especially over the first, at least I would say 5 years. They say it's probably about a year to 2 years. Get yourself checked. I had myself checked the first 5 years, making sure that no matter how much fun I had, every shot that I fired was blanks. You got to be responsible.
Right.
You got to be responsible. Now, if you call, I don't care who you are. I teach my son this. I don't mean to be vulgar, but if you do that, there's responsibility that come after that.
Oh my
Whether
goodness.
it's a responsibility to that woman or the fact that there's a possibility 9 months later, there's going to be somebody out there on the earth looking just like me.
So what are the percentages of a woman still getting pregnant if a man has a
It's not,
vasectomy?
it's not very high. It's
Okay.
not very high.
Okay.
I just want it to be known that it could happen, but it's on the responsibility. Know this. Once you have the vasectomy, it's not that woman's responsibility to check your count. It's your responsibility to know if you're still you still have levels of being able to get someone pregnant.
Okay.
Okay. And on top of
This
that,
is
you
education.
really need right. And men, if you plan on joining Team Cut Boss, please know I am the CEO. But you can join. But you can only join if you're gonna be responsible for every action that you do after that. This is not stopping you from getting herpes. This ain't stopping you from getting gonorrhea. This ain't stopping you from getting no VD, AIDS, none of that shit. It make it
Right.
fun. Now it does make things fun. Damn it. It makes it fun. But some parts of that, again, I think we're gonna need to go on and we're gonna have to have a show on it because I can
Yeah,
go
because
on and
we
on.
got we at the 55 mark, and
Okay.
yeah,
But yeah,
this
all in
may be
all, what I'm saying is well, all in all, what I'm saying is, as far as when it comes to men, if we're gonna talk about these certain things, you know what I'm saying, we have a responsibility level in this as well. At the end of the day, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility for boys like Tyree,
hmm
boys like Darius, boys like them cops that beat up Tyree. We have a responsibility to straighten these boys out.
right.
We have a responsibility. We know that what has transpired is wrong. You feel it in your soul that it is wrong.
hmm
Therefore, these stories need to be presented to our young men as these are the possibilities of things that can happen if you don't have a check on your emotions
Right.
and you don't have some type of line into yourself to know that you have a responsibility.
Right.
And if you're not willing to get on that goddamn train, then we don't need you on the team. We don't need you on the team because the first thing about accountability is checking self
Mhm.
first, men
Right.
and women.
Men and women alike. Yes.
It's
Most
not
definitely.
all the now we have had our first three shows. Y'all have heard me. I done gone in on women a lot, but I damn
Right.
sure get in on men too. And it
Right.
is our responsibility. These brothers that are still living after these two incidents, we not gonna get no good up out of this shit.
None
We not.
whatsoever. None.
Those five brothers that they're still brothers, but they was cops. They was on the other side of things. They all gonna serve because of this. Because
And
they beat that boy to death. They didn't
and
shoot him.
and the leader now leaving his son. I hope it's not a son, but he leaving his son or daughter out there
And
and his baby mama to be another single mama, Jason
and
Whitlock.
men, let me ask you this question, man. Because a lot of you brothers out here are products of this shit.
Right.
What kind of a stigma do you think this man's child is going to carry on him for his
Rest
entire
of his
life
life.
now?
hmm
We not thinking about what we
Right.
doing to our progeny.
Right.
We not thinking about it because we so worried about self right here, right now that we don't even see that what we have done, not just to ourselves, but to each other. Look at what we've done.
Yeah.
Look at how we looking. Look at how these two stories make everybody in our community feel.
Right.
Everybody else on the outside of our community, you know what they doing? See, this is exactly how these niggas act.
Stupid. Well, we gonna share shit down because we really could go deeper and deeper into this to this topic, but the dean of coach and the professor pretty much summed it up for us in this comment. He said, "Teach these boys about rejection and understanding their worth and how to handle." Their worth, and that
Their
right
worth.
there
Yeah.
concludes everything that we were trying to say this entire 60 minutes. Foe.5, you got anything going on? You need the people to be tuned into, or
Yeah, we about to. You already know 4-5 with 4-5 is still coming. I did do a couple of podcasts or whatever, you know what I'm saying. But things kind of, due to circumstances and things like that, you kind of have to push the rest of the world out to make time to do certain things, and you know, just dealing with my little crew and whatever. We getting it together, so it is coming. I want to say this. I love y'all. I love but Tricoastal University. Thank you for everything. We know you still got our backs. Kiddy, I love you for the
I
War of the
love you.
Roses and the Kitty Pink Radio. My brother Judge, he knows I love him. Max Reno, Dean Manuscript, y'all know I love you. Johnny Judah, my mentor. A lot of you motherfuckers don't know. Oh, 4-5 been rolling with a goddamn king for a minute. Johnny Judah, I love you. But it's time for all of us as a tribe to fucking accept the responsibility for the ignorance that we have fucking produced in this world. And like my sister say all the time, let's heal. Let's heal.
For sure, for
We
sure.
can do it.
Right.
We can do it. So, as my sister says all the time, we love you.
We
We
want you
want
to love
you to
yourself.
love yourself.
Real nigga shit. Real nigga shit. Y'all come back next Wednesday. Once again, like if y'all have any topics that you would like us to discuss, either put them in the war room. If you're not already a part of our group, y'all type in War of the Roses. Make sure you join that group. I pose questions and stuff like that, so we can kind of like provoke conversation. Matter of fact, that before we get out of here, I have to address this. What is it that y'all do not like about lashes? I posted up a post that basically was asking men what do they find unattractive, and a majority of y'all said lashes. Now, while I understand some of these bitches do get ridiculous with these motherfuckers,
I got an
what
answer.
is it? What's the answer?
I got
What's the answer?
do you know what the lashes were for? Do you know
Yeah,
where they came from?
they called them cumbrellas. So when the niggas nutted in the horse faces, it didn't get in their eyes. I already know. I'm educated, nigga.
So do you want all the men to look at you like the whores you are presenting yourself to be?
I want my nigga to look at me like a whore. I'm healing. I'm working on myself.
But
We
hey,
finna go.